morning. Welcome to Breakfast Central. It is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it, because beyond the stories that we're going to be looking at shortly, which my colleagues will have the honor of telling us about, today is a very important person's birthday. Today is Gbenga Aborowa's birthday. So happy birthday, Gbenga!
Okay, I'm shy. Can we move on with...
No, we can never move on. We must tell the world.
Thank you very much.
Please head on to YouTube. All Gbenga's fans, all Breakfast Central's fans, go and lavish him with a lot of love in our chat box. New Central TV Live is how we're streaming, or where we're streaming. Want to read out your comments. Let him sniff his flowers. My name is Olive Emodi, and I'm going to be co-hosting today alongside with the birthday boy. I shall now hand over the baton to the birthday boy. Hello, birthday boy.
Thank you very much, Olive. I really appreciate it.
Don't be shy.
I feel very loved and honored by your kind wishes and everyone behind the scenes. It's been a carnival this morning on News Central. All this, you might even mistaken it for public holiday. People are rejoicing, they're celebrating. It's almost like a triumphant entry to Jerusalem. You know, everywhere is just buzzing. I don't know.
As soon as you came in, we started singing for you.
Yes.
We rolled out the red carpet. There were
humble,
there was confetti around.
Nice. Let's do the business of the day that we came here to do. Done with birthday felicitations, and I really appreciate you all. But in order to earn my 2K, daily 2K, let me get straight into business. Because management will ask, did we ask you to come and celebrate or do your work?
Well, we're going to celebrate you all through today, in between.
I celebrate, I jubilate, Iwo. Please, can you dance for me on this table? It's my birthday. Jude, twerk for me on this table, man.
We're sorry. We apologize.
The G in Gbenga stands for goofy. Honestly, you can't say you know Gbenga without knowing his goofy side, but those are one of the
interesting things happening across the country. We have so much to talk about.
Wow.
This morning on Wake Up Conversations, and of course, we have 3 hours to go through the biggest stories in the country here on Breakfast Central. Yesterday, the Nigerian Police Force, Osun State Command, said they acted on swift intelligence and they raided the house of the current SSG. They recovered voters' cards and so many other things. We'll be looking at that. And also, this trend that we've been witnessing on social media, I wonder what Joe... I've been sending Joe a lot of those videos. I'm sure he's tired on Instagram. I wonder what Joe and others think about it. They said this period...
No, it's not the time to steal, oh. It's not the time to steal, oh.
To do creative content. But the good part is that, I mean, people have stopped doing jungle justice. Jungle justice. But they will also say this is a type of vigilantism and jungle justice because you're demeaning these individuals. Imagine you stealing...
No, imagine you.
And beams. No, okay, no, let me not use you. Our enemy stealing, and then they are making you twerk on TV. How can you steal and then they're making you dance and things like that?
So you are saying,
people, I mean, it's become a huge trend.
But you did not
Somebody
respect
stole
yourself
avocado in Tanzania. They made him eat all the avocado.
And you will chop.
So you can
see,
eat your cake.
That thing is how a lot of our parents in our generation... In fact, let me allow Joe to do his introduction. We'll come back to
No, go on.
Those are the things that a lot of our parents did. When someone said to me that the reason they stopped stealing was that one day they stole something, I can't remember. Let's just imagine it was banana. They went and stole banana from the house. The mom said, oh, it's banana you want. For 1 week, we eat banana straight. Banana for breakfast, banana for lunch, banana for dinner. No beating, no shouting. Next time, that child, she said that was how she learned not to steal. So that one, no, I'm in support. It is not my support, it is my wish.
But legally, I mean, you're supposed to take them to court.
They said before they take them, they have to perform.
No, you know, feed them.
No, some of them are quite disastrous. The one that I noticed was Nigerian footballer Boniface.
Okay, yes.
Said Boniface saw the trend, and Boniface went on social media and said, any thief you catch, let them do this my celebration. And lo and behold,
they made...
I showed Gbenga the video. They caught the thief and told him, oh yeah, and they started running. They said, oh yeah, do like this. I'm like, what is going on here? What's this trend? But I do hope that the Nigerian police force will put out a statement. You see, these are the things we're talking about. They've kept quiet. Nothing has been said. So it pretty much seems like it is the norm. But is it the norm? And I also agree with you, Benga, as long as it doesn't engage, doesn't lead to dousing, jungle justice, dousing with fire and killing, it pretty much looks safe.
It's a creative way for the society to look after each other.
The moral of the message is do not steal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, don't.
Because that one, they saw it in your hand.
There's some that stole
They saw
pepper.
evidence that you stole it. It's not the one that they are making assumptions.
Olive.
Then they now feed you.
2 stole pepper. They gave them the bag. They sat them down. They said, don't rush. They gave them 2 big bottles of alcohol. Told them, enjoy the pepper and sip. I said, no.
No, I'm not in support of that because that can actually kill them.
That can kill them.
That can lead to alcohol poisoning. I'm not.
Hand them over to the police.
No, I'm not in support.
So please, we're not in support of this latest trend. We're just saying, please, whenever you find a thief is caught, hand them over to the police, okay? Other stories making the rounds. I'm shocked that today is possibly day 5 or 6 since the ICPC, the Independent Corrupt Practices Commission, was in the news for 2 things. One, the police officers who extorted their chairman, 53,000 plus. We've not heard updates now. They only showed us picture. What's going on?
Yes.
You know, summarily, have they been dismissed? Let's know. You see, we have to put closure to these stories so that we as journalists can pass it on to the Nigerians.
What's the penalty
for them to
so
know
that
exactly
the officers and men of the Nigerian police force would know that this behavior is not condoned.
Absolutely. So we're talking to the ICPC this morning. Second one concerning the ICPC, guys. ICPC stated last week, which has made it 5 days, guys, that with their investigation, research, and thorough investigation, they've completed the review that there are 9,800 ghost workers in the Nigerian police force.
So we took that story some days ago, and the question
so
is that
what's going on? Has the IG said anything? And they want to go out, they want to recruit 50,000 when you have 9,000 that are ghost workers and they're collecting salaries.
let me see if
Or do we need Sarah to write the freedom of information?
I really don't understand.
okay, it would seem that there may have been an update in that
Please,
regard.
let's know the update.
Okay, I'll come back to that.
But it's just to start the show.
Okay, let's now go into
Yeah.
proper conversation to let you know what our wake-up conversation is. And thank you very much for the birthday wishes. Udwekong Abigail says, happy birthday, Mr. Abugoinga. I love the way you always make your introduction on the morning show. Greetings to you from the Aquatic Splendor. It's City of Aquatic Splendor. Thank you.
City
I don't know if I said that right. Yeah,
City of Aquatic Splendor.
Yeah, that is
amphibian residence.
There's long life with loads of money. Benga would like that one.
Amen.
Fabiola Gunju says, good morning, New Central. This is wishing Benga a wonderful birthday celebration. More blessings. You will not be cut off before your time, Benga.
Amen.
And then Ochodi said, greetings from Atlantis. Happy birthday, Sak Benga. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for the best wishes. Keep the wishes coming. But let's get into wake-up conversations. The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Didi Esther Walson-Jack, has accepted responsibility for a major vetting failure, admitting her office issued recruitment approvals for an unverified entity, the PFIPC, after relying on unverified documents. She explained that her office relied on documents including an Establishment Act and an appointment letter that was later discovered to be forged. Lawmakers revealed that the agency had no legal backing and used fraudulent paperwork to gain official recognition. The head of the service considered that her office should have conducted more thorough verification, acknowledging that this lapse allowed a fake agency to secure recruitment waivers. She assured that steps will be taken to strengthen vetting procedures and prevent similar incidents in the future. The House of Representatives Ad Hoc Committee continues its investigation with security agencies, confirming the discrepancies in the documents and signatures presented. The scandal has sparked calls for tighter oversight and accountability in Nigeria's civil service recruitment process. Let's take a look at this.
What we are saying is that my office received the letter of appointment and the Establishment Act. And based on those documents and also based on the interaction with the representatives of the PEAC and PFICP, they went on to issue the authorized establishment, and later the recruitment waiver. We now, having seen all the facts and observed all the documents, concede that we ought to have carried out more due diligence in the discharge of the duties of the office in issuing an authorized establishment and a recruitment waiver to the PEAC/PFICP. Mr. Chairman, if I may explain further, we do know that the PEAC used to exist as an ad hoc organization of its own, and the documents that were presented had PEAC/PFICP. However, like I said, due diligence may have detected whether those documents were actually authentic.
As it is so, in order for us to be able to continue to relate well, we are of the opinion that the Honorable Committee Chairman, as well as the committee members, could like seek or avail us a court, a reproduction warrant, sir, for us to be able to produce him.
I allow you to, I read the letter, you summarize, but I decided to read the letter so that members of the press will not go and say that the man refused to come to court. We have proceeding, we have procedures. The man did not refuse, ID did not refuse to present him here, but he cited the fact that he is not in that custody because he is an ID. I refused to give us because he is ID. He did not. He said court order reminded him until that order is vacated before he will be able to take him out of that and bring him to the National Assembly for whatever reason. Ours was not to engage him in such a way that will temper with ongoing investigation. We are equally mindful.
So that's the update on Gbaja Gate, the PFIPC probe, also known as Gbaja Gate, when that story leaked. And what you see there is, I mean, the head of service there admitting before the Senate committee, the House of Rep committee there, stating clearly that, listen, it was an oversight. They did not take time to do due diligence on the document. That's on one hand. On the other hand, you would wonder how they also approved the PFIPC right there to also approve of and also go ahead to start employing people. So the case situation is big, Benga Olive. It's bigger than what we see here. If Didi Esther Walson-Jack can come out and say, listen, we didn't know, we didn't see the documents. Mm-hmm. I think in the course of the conversation, she also said that she didn't notice the signature. She didn't see the signature, or there was a conversation around, oh, I don't know the signature, and so on and so forth. And that also brought another angle to this entire issue. Not knowing, not doing due diligence, not following through, just approving like that.
You know, I mean,
wow.
There are different ways to look at this. It's quite unprecedented. And I mean, it's routine. An agency would have been doing this for many years. But I wouldn't really blame them for not doing extra scrutiny. I'm sure going forward after this episode, they will have to, cross their I's and cross their T's and dot their I's. Because you wouldn't expect this sort of brazen, what sort of mind would you even have to try to pull this off? And I guess that's why it slipped into the cracks and he was able to...
Benga, I want to speak to your
approval
conscience.
from
Do you
this.
actually agree that embattled Prince was able to pass through these offices and sat himself at the secretariat all by himself, put that logo, the picture,
There's even
set
a
up
part
the
you're not
printer?
mentioning, Joe. The part you're not mentioning is the fact that, according to reports, PFIPC still had their billboard as at early July, mounted in Abuja. I don't know if it's still up now. So
They even
all
had
of
a
this-
billboard.
So all of this speaks to the fact that
Multiple
there were
failures.
multiple failures on different persons and different departments. And all these people need to own up. It's great that she has owned up. And there was a certain, will I say, carelessness on their part. But there's more to this
Olive,
story than this.
I
Is
don't-
there more that we're waiting to see?
I'm sorry, I would stick my neck out. This is my
Please don't
personal
stick your neck
opinion. And I think that this agency, and I said it before, I've said it from the beginning, cannot be a fake. And hence why I don't believe in the word fake when it comes to the PFIPC.
But I mean, let's give her some credit for...
No, I'm not talking about her as well. I'm talking about the
honesty, yes.
multiple layers.
Failure,
It's not that easy to breach into these government institutions or agencies and mount yourself at the center and sit down there and command authority. It's nobody. You can't just, I mean, if you're not invited, you can't walk into an establishment and sit yourself down and then have your table and chair and start
it's like
functioning.
somebody showing up tomorrow and then...
Can you
Come
come
and
into
go-
the central?
Chair here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Me that I'm very territorial. I will now sit near Olive.
Problem.
Oh, problem. That your Mr. K said I'm the new co-host of
Breakfast Central.
Breakfast Central.
Nibo, did they tell us?
Let's just use Moko Chukwuemeka as an example. Based on YouTube. So from YouTube, that familiarity has now been there.
So you now think
Put chair.
that you can put chair and then you now have
We
PA.
have to do our due diligence. Even Olive that is a big fan, me that I'm a big fan, I will walk you out.
Of course. Of course.
What Kwame Chukwuemeka has collected this morning?
Of course.
Okay. Well, the question is, this thing did not just happen. It's interesting that it's raising all this dust in July. From June, July, it's been raising a lot of dust. It happened as far back as 2025. Why are we just finding out now? There's so many things that that have happened behind the scenes. There's more to it than meets the eye. Many Nigerians don't seem to believe that this man acted, and we do not. We are part of those Nigerians that do not believe that he acted alone. There are many failures on several levels. The Senate, again, still has a lot of answering or a lot of questions to answer in terms of, they would argue that it's not their responsibility to approve heads of MDAs, but they approved that budget. So there's just too many layers of failure, systemic
Even the
failure
website,
that we've seen.
.ng.
Yes. I can't just open an olivemodi.ng
Sorry,
.gov.ng. I can't do that. I need to have a certain level of access. But let's see what Nigerians are saying. We'll start with X, and then we'll come back to YouTube to take comments. We're streaming live on YouTube, New Central TV Live. Please go ahead to drop your comments. We'll come back to take them. But let's see what Nigerians are saying about the story on X. On X, bare minimum, but still, it's refreshing seeing a government agency through its head admitting fault in public. Faisal Tijani says, great one there. If you believe this rubbish, then you are part of the problem in Nigeria. So, okay, which one is the rubbish now? Okay, the next one. I have said it times without number what this country needs are just two behavioral change patterns. One, consequences on all actions. Two, accountability of all Nigerians.
I agree.
Any leader that can focus on, which one is jokes now? Even if it's Juma jokes. Any leader that can focus on just these two. Sorry, okay.
I mean, why can't you just put the...
Please, let's go back to that one.
No, it's error, it's typo.
It's not error.
Guys,
He typed
it's
jokes.
a way of
Please go back
type-
to the
type-
previous tweet.
Let's go
Typed
back to that
jokes.
tweet. It's
No, not this one. No.
typo, guys.
It's
Our
not typo,
producers.
it's not typo.
See now.
See the
jokes
first jokes.
is first paragraph.
error, that's why I said
Jokes
it's error.
is last paragraph.
What are we focusing on? Can we focus on the
No, it's-
message?
I mean, this is TV. We
It's-
need to
no,
teach
please.
people not to type.
Benga,
Type in
let's
jokes.
focus on...
Yeah.
Any leader that can focus on
Jokes one,
these
jokes two. What is it juxtaposing?
Oh, okay. Now let's.
I
move
agree, it's
on
not typo, it
from
appeared
jokes.
twice.
It's not jokes. It's not typo. It's not jokes. It's typo.
my jokes.
It's jokes a way of.
Is it juxtaposing?
Can we move on, please?
Okay, yeah, let's go. Sorry. Our next tweet. This woman has been used as a scapegoat, Aleke John says. And the next tweet. Okay, now let's go to YouTube.
She's not being used as a scapegoat. She's the head of the agency.
Yeah, she has questions to answer.
She's taking accountability and she's doing the proper thing.
You know why this person said that? Because there are speculations about how eventually they'll look for 1 or 2 persons to be the fall guy.
And only one person cannot. Okay, she can't speak for the CBN.
True.
She can't speak for the domain name. There are other multiple layers to it. So she's only answering. She's carrying her own cross and the cross of her agency.
Okay. So on YouTube, we see comments. It says, Michael Zu says, House of Reps investigation is just cruise. I bet you all that nothing will come out of this theatrics. Yusuf Gadi agreed with DCP that Adeyemi can't be brought and yet no lever to invite Gbajabiamila. He goes on to say all the federal government agencies, HOS, AG, State House, SGF, Police, ICPC are not serious. House of Reps are for optics, where the Senate cunningly excused itself. Our Nigeria is gone irredeemably. It's not gone. Lord Jesus. He goes on to say, how did Adeyemi get top-level domain address of federal government, open account at CBN, secure office at Federal Secretariat, got seconded staff, etc. Hashtag, let Gbajagate explain by himself. Nathan Emmanuel says, so you are aware of the court injunction as a committee investigating the matter. How come you didn't get an order from the court to ensure he should be brought to the House? Femi Olangunju says, only God knows how many documents have passed through the OHCS without proper scrutiny. Nathan Emmanuel says, if the head of civil service is sorry about her error, she should just honorably resign. OA says, we don't like truth in this country. The truth is that there is collusion in this Gbajagate matter, and we agree, there really is. And then Mr. Johnson says, Gbenga, they throw stone for us. And the reason why he's throwing stone is because of Mokinyo Chukwuemeka. Mokinyo Chukwuemeka, I hope you heard the stone that Gbenga threw at. You said you cannot just come and sit down here.
You
no matter how much...
in a marketplace.
So is this a market? Anyway, Gbenga called your name. Let me take 2 more comments and we'll go to our next story. It says, Arthur Rich says, this is grand larceny unfolding. Osayonde says, them say Nigeria, in bracket, politicians are corrupt. But I say no. They manufacture corruption and others come to learn.
Joe, new development. The deadline that the House of Reps gave the Nigerian police to produce Prince Adeyemi, or Mr. Adeyemi better, still has elapsed.
There was a clarity of why it elapsed. While they were questioning, they made it clear that he can't come because there wasn't any letter written to the court
procedures
for them to, of course, allow him. And again, the matter is already in court, so they can't allow him to come now until they are done with their investigation, courts and everything.
About the man in the eye of the storm, Mr. Gbajabiamila?
So that's the question. That's what he has denied it.
With the papers from yesterday said he's not going to show up. They're going to carry on the case without him showing up. Let's not forget that he was the former speaker of that same house that is about to investigate him. So does that matter? The answer is no.
Exactly.
In the abroad, it doesn't matter what is God.
Look at
but in Nigeria,
principles of natural justice too. It shouldn't matter.
Period. Period.
Well, there are several ways to look at it, Sha. Is there a conflict of interest? But
several ways to
let me take 2 more comments here. Marcus McCain says, seriously, this country needs total overhaul and scrutiny because things have gone from bad to worse. If God opens our eyes, we'll see the evil that has been happening. Happy birthday, Mr. Gbenga. And Mr. Johnson says, I totally agree with Joe. The agency cannot be fake. For the woman trying to explain, I feel she could have given the order that she can never turn against. No be our same government. And Bagraci says the House of Rep is what Fela's song called Army Arrangements. Gbenga, I'm sure you will know this song because you know all Fela's songs.
He's a big fan. And remember that our friend, Ayo Mairese, when she was growing up, she wanted to be a Fela dancer. That was one of her ambitions.
Thankfully, today, she's not a Fela dancer, she's a TV host. But let's now move on to our next story and tell you what's happening in Gbenga State. I think Gbenga should take this story.
Gbenga, take this story, because I don't know what's going on in that
I don't know why you always think I'm from.
Where are you from?
I'm from Ondo State.
I don't know.
Ondo, okay,
my
Sun City.
ancestors are from Ondo State.
The Sun City.
But they are close, they are related.
I lived in Lagos most of my life, and my mom is from
Don't
Togo.
deny the Osun, or don't deny Osun.
Anyway,
they are related.
let's go with this story that's making headlines across the country. And many Nigerians are wondering that why didn't this same Osun State Police Command, why don't they use this intelligence to fish out kidnapping and prevent crime from happening? But let's get straight into it. Tension heightened ahead of the Osun State governorship elections on Wednesday as the State Police Command arrested the Secretary to the state government, Teslim Igbalaiye, and 5 others. The Ademola Adeleke campaign and the Osun State government, however, accused security agencies of targeting opposition figures in a political crackdown. The police said the suspects were arrested during a raid on Igbalaiye's residence in Osogbo, where they claimed to have recovered the sum of 4,810,500 naira, 2 voters' cards, a voter register, and other items suspected to be linked to electoral offences. An allegation the Osun State government and the governor's campaign team rejected.
If you see any of my people that committed crime, arrest them. And I'll support you. All these lies, and this and look, I don't play that. If it is my son that committed crime, arrest him, let him not listen. And that's what I'm saying in front of the IG. But for you to be playing all these games and everything like that, the person that they killed, a 40-year-old boy in Ilobu, because the police officer that did a good job under the directive of the Inspector General of Police arrested that person, you transfer the person. And I have a security report, I'm saying it before, the Inspector General of Police. If you had anything, that in 2 weeks' time, they will start shooting again, so people can be scared. And I'm glad the Inspector General of Police is here today, and he has said it openly. He will not tolerate any act of indiscipline, and he has given you money that he will not tolerate. That is why I'm happy. If you change tomorrow, I will continue to cooperate with the police. Police is our friend. We're not fighting the police. We've got to do right.
Okay, so just a quick breakdown. The video you saw there is not a video from yesterday. It's a video showing the governor while he had the IG with him. He made it clear that he wanted sanity in the state ahead of the Guba polls. And part of the sanity he mentioned was that even his own people, if they are found culpable, if they are found wanting, they should equally be arrested. In other words, what is dealt to Peter should also be dealt to Paul. However, yesterday, the same government, in another breath, came out to say that the police, led by the CP, Ibrahim Gotan, is actually targeting
opposition,
targeting them, the incumbent, and working with the opposition. And they made it so clear because while the house of the SSG was raided, items were found.
4.8 million in cash.
In cash.
A Dynabook laptop, photocopy machines, a printer, and 2 voters' PVCs, permanent voters' cards, voters' registers covering wards 1 to 15 in Osogbo local government area. The police also identified other suspects arrested at the residence as Abiodun Aromowole, popularly known as Ashipa, who was described as a wanted murder suspect on the command's watch list, alongside Taiwo Akonde, Lukman Adeyemo, Muftau Olaoye, and Musliu Aderemi. The Osun State Police Command said their investigations are going on into allegations of vote-buying, criminal conspiracy, and harboring a wanted suspect. That's the gentleman named Ashipa, nicknamed Ashipa. It added that allegations have significant implications for the administration of justice and the credibility of the democratic process. But in all of this, the incumbents, the ruling government in Osun State, believe that they are being targeted unfairly.
Yeah. I mean, this is a press release from them. They said top Osun government officials under attack by police. The press release they put out there, they said the Osun State government has raised alarm over systemic invasion, attacks, and busting of homes of top Osun State government officials by the Osun State Police Command.
For students that are watching, that is the wrong spelling of busted.
Bursted. There should be no R.
Yeah. I'm trying to find where I stopped. Okay, without proper search warrant, and with the latest being the invasion of the House of the Secretary to the State Government, SSG. They went on to say that the SSG's residence was busted by a combined team of police officers led by the Deputy Commissioner for Operations, with family members of the SSG taken to unknown destinations. The Gestapo operations on the SSG residence followed a similar raid and arrest at the residences of about 6 commissioners and other top functionaries of the government. As at the time the SSG house was invaded, his ward officials were holding meeting within the compound while the SSG himself was attending the stakeholders forum organized by the National Electoral Commission. The police had yesterday raided the residence of the Commissioner for Energy at Ikire, ransacking the building and destroying several properties. 5 other commissioners have reported their houses being shadowed and others busted even when nothing illegal happened in their abodes. We'll stop there. What we've seen here is, we talked about, funny enough, we talked about Osun State just last week.
Yes.
We had the commissioner join us, Commissioner of Information, Osun State.
Right.
Earlier this week.
Yes, earlier this week as well. And the conversation bordered on, he highlighted what we couldn't lay our fingers on. One was the consistent attack on the incumbent, the commissioners, his people. However, I am also worried because the current governor of Osun State, His Excellency Adeleke, and of course his cabinet, his members, they had raised alarm to the police that some of their members are being unalived. And they mentioned some of the members who had been killed of recent. Why hasn't the police uncovered that particular incident or incidences where people who are with the current political party are unalived? It seems like there's no statement, no work, no investigations.
The investigation is not balanced. It's just...
Yes, so it's looking...
lopsided.
Yeah, it's looking one-sided. And then we saw the army of the people that are coming full force under the APC for the elections. They set up the council, and that council was heavy. Under that council, you also highlighted how we had the NRS chairman also listed there. There's a lot. There was also a rally that was held, a meeting was held yesterday. We put out the video earlier, and we saw how people opposed the CP and said they don't want him. As I speak to you, the Social Democratic Party has announced and has made it clear that there should be a redeployment of the State Commissioner of Police immediately. Talking about CP Ibrahim Gotan, he said he should be redeployed immediately before August the 15th, that they don't want him.
I mean, there are different angles to this, and some of these allegations are weighty. The statement from the Osun State government, and also the fact that the Osun State Police Command, their own statements too, that a wanted suspect for murder was found in the commissioner's house. And you wonder why the timing of everything, why is it happening just before elections?
But really, is there evidence that really this criminal was found in the suspect's house?
Well, the Osun State Police Command will have to...
Exactly.
That's
because the truth is,
cash they said
the truth is, it's very easy for us to...
These are the things that have been recovered.
Yeah.
The SSG's
the printers.
Printer, I didn't know that printers and 2 voters' cards have become exhibit. But I guess it would lead to the investigation.
Those are the names.
Names of canvassers and their numbers for different wards. I mean, if you're in the middle of election season, are you not supposed to have people that will work for you and strategize and do door-to-door campaigning? And having cash in the house, how can we clarify that this cash was being used?
We don't know what this cash was
elections?
being used for, but we see that when it happens. Recall in Edo State as well, when the elections were happening, and many had said they saw Governor, what's his former name? Not Governor Okpewolo. That it was, no, not Monday Okpewolo, the one before him. I've forgotten his name now. His name just disappeared. But they saw him carrying bag with money. Godwin Obaseki, thank you. And they saw him carrying money. It's during election period, which cried in the night, baby died in the morning. So, but there's really no
there's no evidence.
But from the statement the Osun State government put up, can we have that press?
No, before we say
there
that.
Are multiple, like, how do you just they use the word Gestapo operation on different commissioners in the cabinet. Many might interpret it as, you know, they're trying to destabilize their court party just before.
But that's what it's looking like. That's what they say it's looking like.
Why are you targeting senior officials?
But did the senior official harbor a criminal or not?
We don't know that.
Commissioner for Energy, all these other top officials, because we're only focusing on the SSG for now. But from this,
but look at do you have the
saying there are multiple
5 of them
targeted raids on the homes of top Osun government officials.
Benga, there's something I'm also worried about, and I think it's very good that the people of Osun State should be aware of, and Nigerians. What I'm worried about is the fact that the police has been so, you know, timely, quick to put out these statements. We also want to ask, as journalists, who we also have our man down there, and we've been covering this, how come a video circulated online showing policemen escorting thugs, shooting sporadically,
and then deploying
and they took over a motor park?
Deploying tear gas to chase away the Navy personnel that were there.
Exactly. Then the issue with the naval officers, where they went there and told them, release the thugs, if not, we'll deal with you. Those ones said, listen, we cannot release these thugs.
Until
we have to follow clearance because they committed serious crimes or they committed crimes. But they came back, outwitted the naval officers, took the old thugs and went away. And the police has not said anything about it.
I mean, and this raiding, because we spoke to the commissioner, remember also asking him that, what message do you have for the people? Because all of this is just going to add to the palpable tension.
Yeah.
And people will be scared to come out. Because if you've seen incidents like this, senior government officials' houses being raided, the stakes are really high when it comes to the governorship elections in Osun State. And I'm wondering if we're not going to have another no-show and serious voter apathy come the election day. But let's wait and see how things pan out. The police also has questions to answer.
So again, I mean, you both have said it all. There's really nothing much to say. If really what they've said is true in terms of the systemic busting, so the question is, when they say what they refer to as Gestapo operations, do they have enough information? Was there an arrest warrant that they had? Or
no, that's why it's Gestapo. They just bust.
So that's a question that needs to be answered.
So
regardless, so the question
arrest
is,
warrant too is debatable. Okay, I'm coming to arrest you, so you prepare and then you clear all the evidence. They said they were acting on credible
search warrant.
Oh, search warrant.
Yeah, so if you come with a search warrant, in that moment, the way you bust in without their knowledge, you should have gotten that search warrant.
No, they said with Gestapo, you don't need search warrant too.
No. Anyway, we'll go on a very quick break. We're streaming on YouTube. Go and start dropping your comments. We'll come back to take reactions on YouTube regarding what's happening in Osun State, and then we'll head to X as well. All right, welcome back from that break. We're looking at the drama happening in Osun State. It's how many days now to the elections? August 15th is just around the corner. But what's happening in Osun State regarding safety, regarding freedom to exercise your franchise? Is there some measure of intimidation happening in Osun State that has been orchestrated to intimidate rivals or intimidate even the incumbent party? But let's head on to YouTube and start with comments on YouTube before we head to X. On YouTube, Michael Zeus says, I don't pity Governor Adeleke when, like Fubara, he claimed that President Tinubu is from Osun and his choice presidential candidate. He didn't realize that whoever rides on the back of the tiger ends up in its belly.
You said like who?
He said like Fubara.
Like
Fubara.
Okay. And it's true. I mean, this many students of history will be able to put 2 and 2 together. So the fact that you endorse him does not save you from...
Of course it doesn't.
Politics is politics.
Politics will always...
But is this really, what we see in Osun State, is that looking like politics or democracy?
That's the politics that we're having to face in Nigeria.
And the timing. I mean, for me, I'm just concerned that you had police officers escort thugs to a naval site or area, and then you had them going to a motor park. Evidences, footage, there's no statement that they've been apprehended or videos showing.
Police Command, I think we should try and reach out to the PRO. They have a lot of questions to ask, and they should also clarify some of these issues for national interest purposes. We'll reach out to them and see if we can have them on the show tomorrow.
All right, Nathan Emmanuel says, this arrest is suspicious, I beg. Melvin Oran wishes you happy birthday. Thank you very much, Melvin. Gerald says, is the Nigeria police the real enemy of democracy in Nigeria? Question mark. You can answer that question, 20 marks.
Police is your friend.
Nathan Emmanuel says, can police raid someone's house without the person being around? Because I thought this event happened while the SSG was having a stakeholder meeting with INEC. Success Ruby says, it is obvious that the Commissioner of Police is compromised. He needs to be changed. Let's see someone else work. Femi Olagunju says, I think the CP should be redeployed to another state. Theophilus Ijoma says, I bet you if it is APC that's in power in Osun State, you will not see the police acting this way. It's just an attempt to take over Osun State by the ruling APC federal government. Even though it didn't spell ruling, he said it's ruining. Stan says, APC is responsible for all this rubbish. They don't want free and fair election. Osayande says, watch out for state police. If the federal police are doing this, the state's police will be dominated by Agberus. This has been Benga's thoughts. And APC is desperate to take Osun. Osun people make una open una eyes. Whatever APC touches, Anyway, the comments, keep the comments coming. Do we have tweets on X regarding this as well? Let's take a few tweets and then we'll come back into the studio. Osama says, few days to election, please raid the house of a SSG. I mean the current SSG. What does that tell you? Political witch hunt is at play. I mean, now today they feel it's okay to raid his homes. What happens to 2 months ago? They want to silence every Accord Party member, but God passed, Osama says. The next
Well,
tweet,
if they said nobody's above the law, so it doesn't matter.
Nobody's above the law. State capture is at play in Osun State. It started when the NURTW members in broad daylight took over the city of Osun while the police were there watching and the state government could do nothing. Now, SSG, next deputy governor, and then governor. APC is so desperate to take over power. They want to take Osun by force, Abdulaziz Naibi Abubakar says. All right, that's the tweet. These are what we have. But keep your comments coming. Let's share with you what our top stories today are on Breakfast Central. This morning, our top stories, we'll be looking at police requesting court warrant. Produce embattled DG Adeyemi. OK movement refutes leadership change claims, says X handle was hijacked. We'll also be x-raying the readiness of opposition ahead of 2027 elections. All right. I will also be talking to you about petroleum products to supply. That's a story we're looking at much later. Reps to ease tension between refiners and importers. Yes, we've mentioned that we'll be x-raying the readiness of opposition ahead of 2027. And then we're bringing you the tension between refiners and importers. And the newspaper front pages, as usual, will be a key part of today's papers. Hopefully they have Gwenga's birthday announced there. Stay with us for all these and more.
You're welcome back to Breakfast Central. As political activities gather momentum ahead of the 2027 general election, President Bola Tinubu has weighed in on the growing debate over the readiness of the opposition and the credibility of the electoral process. Speaking during the meeting with a delegation of Catholic bishops at the presidential villa, the president insisted that the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, remains independent and neutral while maintaining that the opposition should be prepared for tough political contests.
Well, let's mention that the president's remarks have reignited conversations about the state of the opposition and whether it is adequately prepared to challenge the ruling APC in 2027. As coalition talks continue and political realignments gather pace, attention is increasingly shifting from electoral rhetoric to questions of party organization, leadership, policy direction, and the ability to present Nigerians with a credible alternative. To discuss the readiness of Nigeria's opposition ahead of the 2027 general elections, we're now joined by Lach Onanuju, Director General of the Heritage Centre Abuja, and Henry Shield, Head of Mission at the Leadership and Accountability Initiative. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this morning on Breakfast Central.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Interesting. I would have loved initially to go straight to our focus, which is how prepared is the opposition. But bear me to start with the Osun State elections and what we just saw, what we're seeing, especially from yesterday. I want to get your thoughts on it, especially the angle in which the Secretary General of the state, had his home raided. And then you also have the issue of the police going after a few other commissioners of the state. What do you make out of that? Let me start with you, Henry Shield, first, right before we segue into the other aspect of the conversation.
Thank you very much. I will blame the Osun State governor for pandering to Tinubu's excesses. I would blame him for being a coward. I would blame Governor Adeleke for not being courageous and not being man enough to stand his ground. Up to a few hours ago, he was still, calling on their, on their people to endorsing President Tinubu for a second term. So I have no pity for him. This is what happens when you embolden a dictator, a bully. This is what you get. Osun State has been in the news in the past few months. Few days ago, there were shootouts where two road unions were fighting, and the governor decided to place a ban on the operations of road unions. You know what one of the road union leaders came out and said? That the state governor has no right. Hear me clearly. He said MC Oliomo came out and said the state governor, no state governor has the right to ban their operations, even if their operations are causing unrest, causing mayhem, and what have you. We are in a big problem. And we are in a big problem because people who ought to look at the president and challenge him to sit up and do what is right are kneeling down before him. What business as Adeleke endorsing Tinubu? You are seeing a clear breach of the constitution, even from local government. For how many months now, Tinubu's government has refused to release the funds of the local government in Osun State. Adeleke has gone to beg him. He has gone with his nephew, Davido. He has gone with his elder brother, the owner of the Adeleke University. They've tried to beg Tinubu, release these funds. These are for local government. They are paying from their pocket. And rather than stand firmly with the people, Adeleke is pandering and saying, oh, Tinubu, on your mandate, we shall stand and everything. The raiding of the house of the SSG is nothing short of them trying to bully their way into victory in Osun State. It happened in Edo. We didn't talk. Tinubu is using state apparatus. APC, not even Tinubu, APC as a whole is using state apparatus to emasculate the opposition. In this instance, Adeleke is not even an opposition, but because they want to have their way, Adeleke has reported several APC leaders in that state to both the IG and the federal government. Nothing has been done. But you went into your house. Do you know how much they said they saw there? I think about 3 or 4 million naira. So you are telling me that a commissioner cannot have 3 million or 4 million naira in his house. Can we go to the houses of the APC leaders in that state? Let's just go to their houses and let's see how many billions of naira we are going to find in their houses. The police has taken a side. They have become partisan. Every other institution of state have already taken. Tinubu has hijacked the Nigerian country. There's no need for us to pretend or want to pander. Let's just say it the way it is. At this moment, Nigerians need to stand up to this government. This is happening in Osun. It has happened already in Edo. And it was immediately it happened in Edo. That was when governor started decamping to APC. Immediately it happened where the they emasculated, where they stripped the state governor of all powers, even when he was still governor, refused him entrance, refused him entry into INEC office, a state governor. So these APC people, especially Tinubu, they do not understand gentleman politics. They do not understand what being, what do you call it, means. These guys, as at this moment, and I'm grateful to your station, New Central, I am genuinely grateful that you have chosen this morning for us to discuss the fate of the opposition, the chances of the opposition, the possibility, what can opposition do? What is the opposition failing to do? This, I don't want to say nonsense. What is currently going on in Osun is a failure of opposition. The CP, in fact, I know that the governor has reported the CP to the IG of police. The IG of police came to Osun State and took sides. Why is the opposition scared of engaging these people? You have seen them. This is not Jonathan. This is not Yaradua. This is not even Buhari. As dictatorial as Buhari was, he never meddled in politics this way. These guys that are there today are brazen. They are completely, totally brazen. So the best way to confront them is not to keep hiding and keep pretending that they will suddenly have sense, to behave human, to behave sensible. No, meet them on the field. Whatever they bring, you give back to them. I'm saying it live on TV. Enough of opposition pretending to be the one keeping the peace. If the APC is bringing their talks, meet them on the field. If they are bringing whatever, meet them on the field. Meet them on the field. It is not like the mandate they are getting, it's not like they are using it for anything beneficial to the Nigerian people, nothing. So why on earth are we begging them to please allow peace to reign?
When you say
no,
when you say meet them on the field,
enough.
just to confirm, what do you mean when you say meet them on the field?
Okay, what happened? I think about 2-3 days ago, you saw two units of the road transport. You have a Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria, RTEN, and National Union of Road Transport Workers. You saw them clashing. You saw them releasing gunshots and everything. For goodness sake, in a country that has a government where the police, where security is being controlled from the federal, why should such be allowed when the governor has been raising alarm several months ago? It means that the government either wants to use those talks to intimidate voters from coming out to vote, or wants to use them to run the other parties off the street. And that should not be allowed in a democracy. I'm glad that Dr. Kach is my fellow, what do you call it, guest on this program. Listen, we have tolerated enough in the last 3.5 years of the Tinubu's government. Election is in the next 5 months. That's the presidential election. For this one going on in Osun State, the police has chosen a side, and it is not the side of the people. The police and every other security agency, they've chosen a side, and it is not the side of the people. Just 48 hours ago, you saw the commissioner of police in Lagos State attending City Boy movement event. What are we pretending that, oh...
What do you make out of that one? What do you make up? Dr. Kach, we're coming to you, Dr. Kach. You're going to have enough time. But what do you make out of that? The commissioner attending the movement in Lagos, Henry Shield, just to wrap up your point.
I am listen, every point I will be making on this program, I will be giving you instances, verifiable instances, to show you that Tinubu has hijacked the whole country. Let us stop pretending. Atiku, stop pretending. Peter Obi, stop pretending. Kwankwaso, Amechi, stop pretending. It is enough of this your unserious press statement. It is time to come out and confront Tinubu, Commissioner of Police, in his full regalia as a commissioner, as an agent of state, as a chief security officer of a state, chose to go and identify with a political party. And you people, listen, opposition will either wake up or they die. I don't even care anymore. I don't even want to know whatever they want to do anymore, because it looks like this opposition is kick and start. Why will Oseni, the Commissioner of Police for Lagos, attend an event of APC and identify with them, people wearing Tinubu's insignia, people wearing APC insignia? He did not go there for peace or whatever, because that is just for him to send the DC operation, Deputy Commissioner of Police operation, to deploy men and ensure peace. I can tell you that in that same Lagos, where this young man attended the APC event and identified with them and laughed with them and joked with them and shared everything with them, other parties have not been allowed to hold events in the states. Ladies and gentlemen, especially those of you in the studio, and for millions of your viewers, Nigeria is gone. There is nothing, there is no pretense, there is nothing. Tinubu is not hiding it.
All right.
He is not ruling as a president, he is ruling as a king.
All right, Henry.
Everybody needs to come and bow before.
Henry,
So,
if I may jump in now, I'd like to
stand up.
bring in, if I may jump in, I'd like to bring in Mr. Onanuju into the conversation regarding what's happening in Osun State. It really is sad that we've come to this level. And honestly, it goes back to something that one of our guests on YouTube had said. One will think typically that aligning yourself with the president automatically is a covering. Recall that one of the senators had said if you come to the APC, although yes, they didn't move to the APC, but they threw their support behind the president. Anambra State governor is another person. He's with ABGA.
Yes, and
but he has adopted...
Alex Otti.
Exactly. Yeah. No. Anambra, you're talking of...
even
Abia.
Alex Otti, to a certain extent.
They have adopted President Bola Tinubu as their presidential flag bearer. So the question is, you know, should that not have been enough politically to shield them and protect them? With Fubara, the same thing. He adopted the president, and many had assumed that that would automatically guarantee him the ability to run for a second term. But it turns out that agreement is agreement.
I mean, this is a democracy, whether you endorse a president or not.
A democracy with a sprinkle of political
it shouldn't matter. It's
brushes.
the will of the people that should prevail. And if Osun State citizens or indigents want Adeleke to return, it's their call. If they don't want him to return, it's their call. The president shouldn't be able to interfere. Of course, he's not apolitical. He will want the party. He will want the state, especially a state that is, he has historical ties to be an APC state. But it's not, man proposes, God disposes. It's not his will, and it shouldn't interfere or use state institutions to make it work in a favor of one candidate.
But we do not have, and this is not us saying that this is what is happening. We are only echoing the thoughts of people. We cannot categorically say that the president is behind what's happening in Osun State. But our guests this morning are speaking about this. We have Henry Shield and Lach Onanuju. Thank you very much for joining us once again, gentlemen. And we do apologize about the issues we're experiencing this morning. Mr. Onanuju, let's hear your thoughts about what's happening in Osun State. You had started to speak about it before. Do you believe that police is doing their duties and well within their rights because no one is above the law? Or are you going to align with those who have said that this is a little too convenient, the timing too close to the gubernatorial elections, and maybe there is some, you know, a sprinkle of manipulation or bullying happening here?
I would say that I am not surprised at the things I'm seeing. Tinubu and his historical ties to Osun, the state of his birth, this place of his parents, Iragbiji, and he now sees this as an open confrontation between him and the Adeleke family. I had the opportunity of going to Ede 2 weeks ago because I had been historically tied to Ede when I was taken to Ede years ago in the 70s and 80s by my mentors, Murtala Kadiri and Jinadu Babiaka. I went with them to Ede
And I know Ede well. I just tried to see the mood. And I was happy to see that the people of Ede were with the governor. Then I tried to get to the state capital. And I spoke to some people. That's when I knew that they told me that Tinubu would do anything to take the state. So I am not surprised at the level of desperation that Tinubu is displaying. The police officer that my brother Henry Shi talks about simply listen to what and the body mood and languages of the president to do what they are doing. I believe the opposition, because you see, I blame Atiku Abubakar for splitting the opposition in half. I think he's doing a job which that's well practiced. If the opposition had been together, if he had kept his toxic ambition aside and allowed the presidency to shift to the south, the opposition will have been together. Don't forget, Atiku Abubakar started this war of equity in 2013, where he formed the caucus known as NPDP, insisting that the president should come to the north. He used that to now build a coalition with the ACN, with the CPC, with the ANPP, and with Orokorocha's faction of Abga. And then you now have APC, and that is it. But after 8 years of presidential rule by the northerner man who is Buhari, the right thing for Atiku to do is to allow the presidential pendulum to swing back to the south. He refused. He had been fighting it since, and that's why the opposition is currently divided. But then I'll tell you something. This is the truth about our country. There are those who do not yet believe that we should share this country equally. And we're seeing it now. So forget what you're saying. Atiku Abubakar is working for President Tinubu. It is Atiku Abubakar's toxic insistence that he must to rule, even though Buhari ruled for 8 years. That's why the opposition is currently divided. And I know why he's doing this. So the opposition is weak because they cannot speak with one voice. Of course, Adeleke tried to copy from Soludo, Kotoyin to Tinubu, thinking they will let him know. Tinubu has a personal interest in pocketing Osun State. So I see it as a war between the Adeleke family and then the Tinubu and his people and bloodline from Iragbiji. I am not surprised that they are now employing the doctrine that they also used in Edo State, and we've seen it in several other places. When governors saw what Tinubu did in Edo State, they became very frightened. They started crossing over because it's either you're with him or he will just take the state and tell you to go to court. And you know what President Goodluck says? If they tell you go to court, that means they have somebody that works with them, either their relation or their crony in the court. We're here now. So let's not pretend about where we're going.
But sorry to interrupt you. Supporters of the APC will disagree with you. With
Let
that
them disagree.
They will say Governor Soludo has endorsed President Tinubu, and he still won his re-election bid as governor of Anambra State.
That's why I'm telling you that even though Governor Adeleke endorsed Tinubu, Tinubu has an emotional attachment to Osun State because that is the state of his origin. Never mind he came to live in Lagos and then tried to claim King of New York. That's not true. Iragbiji is his own. So you see him putting forward his bloodline cousin, Mr. Oyetola, and now he thinks he wants to show you Adeleke, this war between him and them, that he can win. So deploying state apparatus to intimidate people of Osun State, I'm not surprised. I will tell you these are the consequences of state capture. There are people today in the opposition who are not happy, but they were part and parcel of the division of the opposition.
Now, staying with you, Mr. Onanuju, just to follow up on the analysis you gave earlier, and rightly so, because the last time the opposition successfully defeated an incumbent, he had to take some sort of coalition, an amalgamation before that happened. That's the APC's defeat of former President Goodluck Jonathan. And you did say that the former Vice President Atiku Abubakar's insistence of running in next year's elections looks to be working in favor of the ruling party. Having said that, is there still any hope of unseating the ruling party? Is there any other strategy, or we've crossed the Rubicon? Is there?
Yes, there is hope.
Anything the opposition can do at this point?
If we can force, if we can have free and fair election, of course, Tinubu can be defeated. Tinubu is using all this kind of heavy hand because he knows that he may not be able to win in Osun in a free and fair election. Look at what they are doing. The SSG in every state is a top player. Most times the SSG is actually the deputy governor. And he handles a lot of things because he's the head of administration in the state. Now they have gone to meet this head of administration who gives instructions to a lot of people who are in government with him and Governor Adeleke. They're trying to destabilize him. They know what they're doing. There is nothing new or hidden about Tinubu's intentions. And he's already told us, some days ago, that he will do whatever is possible to win, that he's not going to be nice or friendly to the opposition. He didn't understand that he was talking about the country in which he was supposed to now act as leader of country, but not as a politician with a division, a divided country in which he must do anything. That's why he said that he would do anything possible to win. And you're not seeing him. So let us not pretend that President Tinubu did not want us. He told us he will do whatever he can to win. And he's not doing what in his way is what he can, using the apparatus of state to intimidate the space. And he thinks that just like he achieved in Edo State, will give him a win. I am not surprised. How are you sure that the results of the election have not yet been written? Just like people pander about. And this is simply what he's trying to do, destabilize the government. The only person they're not arresting or rushing into his house is the governor, because he clearly has immunity. But all those below the governor who work with the governor without the constitutional immunity will be disintimidated. If they can do this to the SSG of the state, nobody else in the state is free from their high-handedness. So I think I am very disappointed at what Tinubu is doing, but I am not surprised because what you're seeing are the consequences of state capture. When you look at it nationally, some of the members of opposition, like in my former party, the PDP, they complain. I look at them and say, these are the same elders that refuse equity and inclusion. Because when the presidential pendulum has been in the north for 8 years, for the sake of nation building, you should allow the pendulum to swing back to the south for 8 years. And this is the problem. When Atiku refused, I met my friend, Doyo Kukwe, and I told him, I said, look, we have worked for the north. Why don't we not do for the south? He said, but we don't have for a candidate. I said, we'll find a candidate. And that was how we started networking. I met President Obasanjo. I met Ezife, the late Okwadike. I met Chief Esen Okeke. I met a lot of leaders. I called meeting in Abuja. Tito came. We blackmailed him, and he agreed. That was how I got a candidate. And the obedient movement took life of its own. And then later on, people came out from different parties to join us. Organically, we grew. I didn't do that because I was insisting somebody must be present. No, I thought that you cannot achieve nation building without equitable inclusion of the diversity of that nation in the governance of that nation. And since someone like Atiku refuses, and why this is very painful, Atiku, it was that formed the MPDP caucus, which he used to campaign that the president should come to the north. He achieved it with that coalition in the called APC, and Northerner became president for 8 years. After that, Atiku should allow the presidential pendulum to go to the south. He refused. And that's why we started our campaigns and our fight against him politically. And today, the opposition is divided. Even after that, allow the president to stay in the south. He refused. Why? There are people who are prodding him on that he shouldn't allow the presidency to go to a particular part of the country. So he's not working alone. He knows what he's doing. And of course, there are Nigerians who think, that the democracy is about themselves. No. Nigeria runs a representative democracy where you must endeavor to represent the interests of your constituents, not your own. But now you have people thinking they themselves, if you say, no, my interest. It's not your interest. It is a representative democracy. You represent the interest of the place where you come, not your own personal interest. And some of them followed him. Thank God we defeated them at the 2023 election. But they've not learned their lesson. They've not learned their lesson. And Atiku is still misleading them. That is the reason why the opposition is divided. If Atiku allows the 8 years for the South will be well consolidated and united in one opposition if the opposition members. They will also be united in one ruling party, which is now the APC. Atiku Abubakar is the problem the opposition has today.
Okay.
So you can see that.
Okay.
And I am not happy at his use of his toxic ambition to undermine our democracy, and this is the problem. So no matter what you say, a house divided amongst itself will always fall.
Okay, Dr. Catch, I mean, thank you for your thoughts there. We'll go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll take a look at other aspects of this conversation. So we'll ask Henry Shield and Dr. Catch, please stay with us. Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still looking at the opposition ahead of the Osun State Governor poll and also 2027 elections. Our guests are still here with us. Let's go back to you, Henry Shield. Earlier on in your conversation, you highlighted the need for the opposition to give it back to back in terms of fire for fire. If they go on the field, they should also go on the field. Do you think, with what you've seen so far so good with the opposition, do you think that they measure up in that level? And secondly, what do you also have to say about, I still have to bring the Osun State issue back because it's just around the corner. What do you have to say about the Osun State elections, especially looking at the fact that the CP of the state has been told to be moved to another state? What's your take on all of this?
So far, I haven't seen any form of seriousness from the opposition currently. The PDP, Labour Party, ADC, NDC. As of today, Tinubu does not have any opposition at all. That is why on a daily basis, he keeps reading out policies that affect the people negatively, and nobody is talking. There is no coming together to resist him. There's no form of national anger being shown. So I will say clearly, you asked me my take on the opposition. As of today, Nigeria does not have any opposition. We have opposition leaders, but we do not have opposition in Nigeria. If there was opposition in Nigeria, certain actions that were taken by this government will have been reversed. If we had opposition in Nigeria, the current national chairman of INEC, Professor Joash Amupiton, would have either been relieved of his position or he would have resigned. You understand what I'm saying? If we had opposition in place, these are ideal expectations in a situation where there is presumably an atom of opposition in the system or within the system. If we had opposition, Gbajabiamila will not remain chief of staff to the president of Nigeria today. If we had opposition, what do you call it? Dave Umahi will not be presiding over the Ministry of Works as his minister. If we had opposition, Wike will not be in the FCT as minister. If we had opposition, I don't understand, you might want to ask me why on each of these cases. And I am sure, because your station, you have been very, what do you call it, efficient in showcasing both the good the government is doing and the bad. You've been very objective. You've been wonderful. You have not shown any form of bias. So I will know that you know why I am mentioning these particular instances. If we had opposition, Justice Lifu will not be giving reckless judgments or rulings in his court. If we had opposition, what do we have? We have an Atiku Abubakar who plays an elitist form of opposition. Send his boys, release press statement, and, engage the government once in a while in banters online. He's a comfortable man. He is in his prime. He understands that, okay, Jeje Layegba and everything. That is his kind of opposition, which is a failure. Then we have a Peter Obi, also as opposition, who by his countenance, by his nature, by his build, by his upbringing, is naturally a gentleman. Let us go to court. Let us do this one. We cannot afford to behave like them. So these two individuals leading the opposition race in Nigeria today makes it absolutely comfortable for Tinubu to misbehave. Comfortable for Tinubu. Peter Obi will never go and tell you, let's go and confront the government. No. He is by nature a gentleman, which is not a bad thing. But in Nigeria's current peculiar situation, we need firebrands like the El-Rufai, like the Adams Oshiomhole. We need men who will look at government in the face and tell them the truth to their face, damning all consequences. And I mean every form of consequence. Until we get that level of position, you will see fuel. Fuel has gone back. I bought 1,330 naira 2 days ago. It's still going to go to 1.5, go to 1.8. Dollar is still going to climb and all the rest. The government is still going to keep suppressing, oppressing, intimidating, and bullying the opposition to the extent that the man wants to run against nobody in 2027. So you ask yourself, if you ask me, I will score Nigeria's current opposition 5 over 100. Not 10, not 6, not 90. I will score them 5 because they've been totally absent in the equation of things since Tinubu became president. Totally absent. But completely absent. They are just, what I see them is, they just want to get power. They just want to, 2027 Nigerians come out and vote for us. They do not want to engage in Nigeria's everyday problem. Things that are making Nigerians sad. They don't want to fight the government. They don't want to confront the government. They are either scared or they are naive.
Henry,
you understand?
If I may interrupt you for a second, you only mentioned the names of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Mr. Peter Obi as opposition candidates that, might pose a formidable challenge. There's also Mr. Adebayo of the SDP, and there's Professor Sandy Ono of the PDP. Recall that the PDP held sway for 16 years. There's also Mr. Donald Duke of the People's Redemption Party. Don't you factor them into all of this ahead of 2027?
To engage myself in things that I consider waste of time. Do you understand? With all due respect to Prince Adebayo of the SDP, with all due respect, and please, when you are mentioning opposition, can we please not mention PDP anymore? Please, because this is a serious matter. Even for a media house, you should understand that Nigeria is standing on a keg of gunpowder. You should know that we are in a precarious situation. We can't be mentioning Wike controlled PDP for goodness sake. How? Wike works for Tinubu. Every day you see Wike, Tinubu or nothing. We are doing rainbow. So why on earth will you mention Tinubu? Will you mention Wike's PDP? When we are discussing serious opposition matter. So please, I'm sorry, with all due respect to PRP and all the other ones and all of them, I am grateful they are all out, they want to participate, and we appreciate them and we commend them for participating. But what I am saying now is the major opposition political parties need to take the front burner
The House of Representatives Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream has begun efforts to address growing concerns between petroleum importers and domestic refiners, with stakeholders calling for policies that balance support for local refining and guarantee uninterrupted fuel supply across the country. During an interactive session with operators in the downstream sector, lawmakers assured that their legislative reforms will be driven by consultations rather than confrontations. News Central's Idong Joseph put this package together.
With the Nigeria's downstream petroleum sector undergoing major changes following increased domestic refining capacity and regulation, lawmakers say striking the right balance between local refining and fuel imports is critical to ensuring energy security and stable supply.
Let it be said from this day forward that this committee chose partnership over suspicion, dialogue over decree, understanding over assumption. Let it be said that when the history of Nigerian downstream sector reform is written, this briefing session marked the moment when marketers and lawmakers stopped talking past each other and started building the future together.
Major marketers, while supporting the expansion of domestic refining, cautioned against blanket restriction of petroleum imports, as they say strategic imports remain necessary.
Local refining is absolutely necessary in the country. The government of Nigeria, however, must retain the regulatory control to decide when it should allow imports.
Oil marketers allege repeated allocation of licenses to the same marketers and also lamented the continuous dominance of foreign currency on domestic transactions.
Marketers are invoiced for loading operations at the refinery and again at the discharge port. More critically, certain charges continue to be enforced in US dollars, despite the entirely domestic nature of these transactions. This practice persists, notwithstanding a presidential directive.
Independent marketers called for improved measures to enhance the distribution of petroleum products.
1. Strengthen domestic refining while preserving healthy market competition. 2. Ensure direct, equitable access by marketers to locally refined petroleum products.
The committee assured that it will engage with relevant agencies and refining operators to address issues raised in the downstream petroleum sector. In Abuja for News Central, Idong Joseph.
Well, the Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Shola Enikanoloye, has briefed President Bola Tinubu on the outcome of discussions with South Africa's special envoy following recent attacks on Nigerians in the country. It disclosed that authorities are compiling data on properties lost by affected Nigerians to support future compensation claims, adding that while diplomacy remains Nigeria's preferred approach, all available options remain under consideration to safeguard the country's interests and its citizens abroad. The minister said that the federal government views the attacks as Afrophobic and is working through diplomatic channels to protect the lives and property of Nigerians in South Africa.
For us lodging our claim, we have designed a form to be filled by all Nigerians who may have lost property in South Africa. We want to be able to proceed on the basis of data, on the basis of the quantum of losses they have suffered, and then we'll go back because our engagement with South Africa is ongoing. All options are still on the table, but we prefer diplomacy and negotiations to continue until we can arrive at a mutually acceptable outcome that will protect Nigerian citizens, their lives and property in South Africa, and whether they are regular or irregular, they are human beings.
Let's tell you that the embattled former Director General of the Presidential Foreign Investment Promotion Council, Adini Adeyemi, has failed to appear before the House of Representatives investigative panel despite an invitation. Well, as the Nigerian Police Forces asked the committee to obtain a valid warrant from a competent court to facilitate his appearance, and that's the reason. Well, speaking before the panel, Deputy Commissioner of Police Olayemi Akinola, who represented the Nigerian Police Force, says that Adeyemi was unable to appear for questioning because of an earlier court order directing that he remains in their custody pending further proceedings. Responding to the request by the police, Chairman of the committee, Yusuf Gagdi, says that the panel will not interfere with judicial proceedings, but will continue to investigate, and called for more documents to be submitted before the committee.
So, in order for us to be able to continue to relate well, we are of the opinion that the Honorable Committee Chairman, as well as the committee members, could like seek or avail us a court, a reproduction warrant, sir, for us to be able to produce him.
I allow you to, I read the letter, you summarize, but I decided to read the letter so that members of the press will not go and say that the man refused to come to court. We have proceeding, we have procedures. The man did not refuse, ID did not refuse to present him here, but he cited the fact that he is not in that custody because he's an ID. I refused to give us because he's ID. He did not. He said court order reminded him until that order is vacated before he will be able to take him out of that and bring him to the National Assembly for whatever reason. Ours was not to engage him in such a way that will temper with ongoing investigation. We are equally mindful.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has reaffirmed its commitment to credible, free and fair elections in a bid to rebuild public trust while seeking the continued support of traditional institutions in promoting peaceful and inclusive electoral process in Osun State. INEC Chairman Professor Joash Amopita, speaking during an engagement with traditional rulers, has said that the commission was accompanied by a full complement of security agencies dedicated to election management, including the Police, the Department of State Services, and the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps.
Osun State holds a special place in Nigerian democratic journey. Your people are politically conscious, deeply passionate, and firmly invested in the democratic process. From the historic shifts of 1999, 2003, and 2007, through the close contests of 2018 and 2022, Osun State has consistently demonstrated that its citizens value their constitutional right to choose their leaders.
There is tension in Osun State right now. The tension is so much, political tension. It is what we've been deliberating for the last 5 hours. That are we going to fold our hands, we traditional rulers? We should live above politics, because Osun State is bigger than all those politicians. Osun State is bigger than us. We just occupy the throne of our forebears. We don't have any year or tenure limit, but we have to be very just, fair, and right in everything we do.
The Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, has reaffirmed the need to combat corruption through stronger institutions, saying that it remains more effective than relying solely on enforcement and prosecution. The Commission made this known during a public presentation of a follow-up system study and corruption risk assessment report on the National Health Insurance Authority, the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, and the Universal Basic Education Commission. News Central's Edong Joseph reports.
An ounce of prevention, they say, is worth a pound of cure. This is reflected in the latest report, part of preventive anti-corruption strategy designed to identify systemic weakness and implementing recommendations before vulnerabilities translate into corrupt practices.
The reports being presented today represent complementary preventive interventions aimed at strengthening governance within 3 strategic public institutions. They comprise of the follow-up system study report on the National Health Insurance Authority, the follow-up corruption risk assessment report on the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, and the follow-up corruption risk assessment on the Universal Basic Education Commission, IBEC, and selected state Universal Basic Education Board, SBEPS.
The Center for Social Justice, which partnered with the ICPC under the European Union-supported Rule of Law and Anti-Corruption Program 2, emphasized that anti-corruption reforms must move beyond producing reports to ensuring sustained implementation.
While Nigeria is a party to a plethora of international standards on the prevention of corruption, including the United Nations Convention Against Corruption, African Union Convention on Preventing and Combating Corruption, these standards require consistent and continuous state engagement to keep the anti-corruption spirit alive. It is not about one-off interventions, but sustainable engagements involving state and non-state actors.
Other stakeholders commended the Commission, noting that continuous monitoring of public institutions is critical to improving transparency, accountability, and public service delivery. The ICPC says that the exercise is not intended to apportion blame, but to encourage continuous institutional improvement for public institutions. In Abuja for News Central, Idong Joseph.
As the 2026 World Hepatitis Day is being marked across the world, stakeholders in Plateau State have been urged to contribute their quota in raising public awareness about viral hepatitis to promote prevention and to encourage early testing, as well as expanding access to life-saving treatment. They also call for a renew to the collective commitment to eliminating hepatitis. Our correspondent, Chizoba Anu, was there and now files this report.
This is a roadwork by health practitioners to draw the attention of the public to the essence of the World Day Against Hepatitis.
Can hepatitis C be cured? And then please, if it can be cured, let me know where I can take my brother to.
Mind-boggling question of a victim who wants her brother's health restored after losing not less than 5 members of her family to this disease. It is one of the key reasons these health practitioners are converged here to seek ways of increasing the fight against the disease.
It calls on every one of us to break down the barrier that continue to fuel transmission and keep our people from accessing care. Barriers such as low awareness, persistent stigma, misinformation, delayed diagnosis, and unequal access to healthcare must be dismantled.
While key stakeholders continue to intensify efforts at combating the spread of hepatitis, experts say all hope is not lost.
So WHO definitely will remain committed and will continue to work with the government to strengthen the health system, so that together all of us will be able to celebrate some of the successes that we are going to document in the state.
So we are able to test using the rapid diagnostic test kit. We are also able to do combo testing, and we are also able to do viral load testing. And what we are trying to do is to, as much as possible, subsidize the cost of this testing so that people can have access to it.
There is a cure for hepatitis C. If you come to JUICE, we'll do evaluation for you and place you on the medication. And the treatment lasts for 3 months. But it depends on what we find. Because we are going to do some investigations for you to see the level at which the liver is damaged.
In Plateau State, Hepatitis B prevalence rate is 13.9%, while hepatitis C stands at 6.8%, and that of pregnant women remains 9.2%. With these statistics comes a clarion call for all hands to remain on deck until this viral disease is reduced to the barest minimum. In Plateau State for News Central, Chizoba Anyowe.
We hope that you go get tested and get checked for hepatitis and that you prioritize your health this year. Now moving on. Nearly a year after the Edo State government banned illegal revenue collection and warned towns to stay away from markets and business premises, some traders in Benin City say the practice is still far from over. At the Uwelu Spare Parts Market in Ego local government area, traders and artisans allege they are being forced to pay unauthorized levies despite the government's directive. News Central's Edo State correspondent Ameze Bazwaye files this report.
The Edo State government has repeatedly declared that illegal revenue collection will no longer be tolerated. But at the Uwelu Spare Parts Market, many traders say they continue to face demands for money from individuals they describe as unauthorized collectors. Mechanics, spare parts dealers, POS operators, and dispatch riders told News Central they are regularly approached by people demanding levies without any official identification. Fearing possible reprisals, those who spoke requested that their identities be concealed.
Why most of us are afraid is because most of those there now, we don't know who is working for who. So they are just trying to protect their head, protect their self. You are just paying money to somebody. There's no receipt. There is no purpose for it. It's not securing anything for us. So we don't want it anymore. And it's with true oppress. Once you fail to pay, maybe you give a deadline. If you fail to pay, start molesting you.
Once you're a new PS person, he will collect. You will register with him with the sum of 10,000 naira. Then once you're a new bike, you register with him with sum of 15,000 naira. The banker himself used to collect 1,000 naira from each bike every month. At the beginning of the month, you will give him the 1,000 naira. If he pass on 50, you say that you give him his 1,500 and it's must. If you refuse to pay him, he will slap you and collect your helmet.
They're all doing it to oppress people. There's nobody to cry to. At least we've been looking for a platform like this of which we can express ourselves. So thankfully now you people just came. At least the local government and the state government now, they will be able to know that, they will know what is happening here.
Responding to the allegations, the commandant of the Edo State Task Force, Smart Odige, urged affected residents to report such incidents, assuring them that every complaint would be properly investigated. He also disclosed that officers would be deployed to the Uwelu Spare Parts Market following News Central's findings, warning that anyone caught extorting traders would be prosecuted.
Any persons that has something like that, my office is open to everybody, irrespective of the area, should come and lay a complaint to me. I will investigate it myself.
With fresh allegations emerging from one of Benin City's busiest commercial hubs, traders say they are now looking beyond promises, hoping sustained enforcement will finally put an end to illegal revenue collection. In Edo, for News Central, Ameze Bazwaye.
Pages of the newspapers, and joining us for analysis today is an astute public affairs analyst, one who's not afraid to speak truth to power and say things the way they are, Mr. Theophilus Akatuba. One welcome to you. It's been quite a minute since we saw
it's been some time.
Yes,
pleasure to meet you, handsome and beautiful.
Today is his birthday.
Oh,
why the announcement?
Everybody must know.
You look very good. You look very handsome and prosperous.
Thank you.
Happy
Amen. Amen. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Let's get straight into the business. The first newspaper we'll be looking at is the Observer Times newspaper, and it had some positive news, some celebratory news. Let's look at the Observer's Time paper, please. They're celebrating Nigerian Army named as Africa's best in counter-terrorism. And so many people will be wondering, you're the best in counter-terrorism, so why are we still dealing with incidents of insurgency and terrorism in your country?
Yeah.
This is according to the African Security Watch.
They will not win that prize if they are not faced with the challenge they have been dealing with. So you have to measure them against performance. So if you look at what the army has actually confronted in this country, let's be fair, we have such military that has very, few numbers, not well resourced. I must tell you, you have to give credit to these men for the kind of, things they have done, they have confronted, they have been faced with. The circumstances have been very challenging, apart from the fact that there are corrupt elements and corruption and trading and commercialization of this battle. But you have to give it to them, because is there any military in Africa right now that's confronted with this level of challenge?
I mean, we would rather have a situation where there's peace rather than showing your mettle with
to have peace,
levels of insecurity.
If you did not ensure peace, you have to fight to have peace. Okay. We never ensured peace from the beginning. We created a country where people became despondent, people became disillusioned. We took decisions that never developed our economy.
When you say we, ordinary Nigerians involved, or the political class?
Well, political class are enabled.
Because I wasn't part of those that made
political class are enabled by citizens. You remember that the military took over. We celebrate them each time they took over. Anytime military took over, it was 2-3 years behind. But we thought that they were saviors because Nigerians wanted saviors, and none of them saved the country. So from military to military, every decision they took kept leading this country.
We've had 7 years of uninterrupted democratic experience.
That is the point.
Are the current political class and elite, are they the saviors? Are they saving Nigeria right now?
They are offshoots of the renegades. Where we are
offshoots from 27 years ago.
What we are dealing with is hydra-headed. If you have a system that has been organized not to function well, then until you recalibrate that system, you will keep functioning the way it's intended to. The truth is we have been doing so many wrong things, and we are reaping out of it. Insurgency is as a result of allowing your citizens to be so poor.
So who did that?
Huh?
So who did that?
Different successive governments with Nigerians in collaboration. Nigerians work in ministries. Our fathers are retired from different services. The decisions they took incrementally led us to where we are.
And do you think the decisions that are being taken now would help us to allay all of that?
Well, for now, I look at what we are doing, I look at how the country is running. There is still so much to be done. I don't believe there could be pockets, 1 or 2 decisions that are praiseworthy, but doesn't mean that we have a collective or decision for the good yet.
Okay. Talking about moving things forward, I guess it has to do with elections, because every 4 years we go through electoral cycles where we try to, which acts as a referendum on the ruling government. On the street, they call it waka or stay. Olive can relate to this. Having participated in many dancing competitions where they are winning soap or noodles. If the dancer is good, you say waka or stay.
Waka.
And in elections, they also do that every 4 years. So 2027 will wrestle to the finish. Tinubu dares opposition, says INEC is neutral and defends our governance record amidst 2027 challenges. He said this, he made this statement while visiting, while he was being visited by bishops in Abuja, Catholic bishops. Was that the right place to be making this sort of political statement? And what does it mean that we'll wrestle to the finish?
That is
are elections now WrestleMania?
Elections are battle.
Fight to the finish.
Is it a battle?
Yeah, it's a battle. It has always been a battle. You see, democracy allows that you fight for power. That's democracy. That's why those who chose otherwise didn't want these fights. They wanted a congress of opinion or a rulership of the elite for peace to prevail so that they can move forward. But when you choose democracy, know that you wrestle dirty, get your man into office wounded and battered.
No.
That's
not how it works.
No, that is democracy.
In different parts of the world.
That's how it works.
No, it doesn't work in Norway like that. They don't fight dirty.
Hold on.
That's how it works in Ghana.
They don't raid the houses of commissioners.
Yes. It's a
in Ghana, the police officers joined the opposition.
Did they join
to shoot.
They attend
Listen,
political
there are
party
many things that
events.
happen in Ghana, even in the election period, that are also untoward, that they also battle, and Ghana is also going through.
Let's.
So are we saying that because Ghana is doing it, then
Exactly.
That's not you.
Right. Okay,
you have taken me
does it
somewhere.
happen in Botswana?
I think you're asking me a question. It's not about saying let us do. I'm saying that democracy is like that.
So we shouldn't.
America is the America has represented to us as one of the beacon. We copied a lot of things, but we have seen their own democracy. We have seen their own.
America is not a model democracy. Let's use better examples. Use Norway. Use Sweden.
But you don't copy Norway.
Use Finland.
You have nothing to do. What connections do you have with Norway?
What connections? Do you
Sorry,
have?
I just saw a comment that made me laugh. They say, "Guy, you introduce your guest as fearless. Who speaks truth to power? Instead of you telling us that you have Bola Tinubu in your studio. Happy birthday to you. And Chinedu Brown, you talk this one, no?
It's deputizing.
Maybe it's reincarnate. I don't know what to say.
That comment. Okay. Okay, so now.
What I'm saying,
so democracy now is you know they say you must
democracy is a wrestle. That is even
the wiki says power is not given a la carte.
Never. It's never. It has never been. Even power at any level, even in the military. If you read the book that spoke about the military and the challenges of governance, for the first time, I pitied military governors and those who were president because of the fear of that by the time you get to the office, somebody has a gun on your head. You are not sure you wake up tomorrow morning, even you, the president, will still be president. So it was so bad that the military boys were living in perpetual fear. Even the president was living in so much fear and hostage. And it was terrible. So power games are always very difficult. So nobody should expect the ruling power to go into the contest without readiness for democracy. So those who want to take power from them should be ready.
So do you agree that those who want to take power from them should also be ready to do illegal things?
No, the resto is not illegality.
Which one?
Resto.
See, I was going
about using.
Okay, you saw this. Okay, no.
Resto.
You can't use.
Please. Resto that the president is speaking about.
Explain.
I don't see it as illegality.
Okay,
that's why he said, INEC. So come to the game of politics to fight for power. Don't be telling us you have no confidence in INEC and still preparing for his election. INEC is neutral. We will fight to win the power.
INEC is neutral, but the president appoints.
To determine whether INEC is neutral or not.
It is his confidence he expressed.
Especially because the president is the one that appoints.
No. The president must bring confidence that I will not tamper with INEC. I'm going to play neutral. Come fight for power from me.
Hold on. I think for our viewers, so they don't misjudge you.
They don't call you Bola Tinubu.
Oh, no. I'm not speaking for you. I'm speaking about this.
That's why I want to ask the question so that we are able to separate it.
Correct.
When you say you fight for it, you fight for power, it's not given. You wrestle for it. Please, let's explain that wrestle.
I'm explaining it to me
that they don't misjudge you. And
wrestling for power is doing every... Listen, you want the voter. So you want voter A. He lives in Okoko.
Okay.
I'm telling him to vote for me. You also tell him to also, I will wrestle his
that's
vote.
The type of wrestle
that's
you
all.
mean.
And the aggregate of my wrestled vote is what gives me victory.
You see, I needed you to explain that because
we will wrestle for
we see in
when
Osun State.
State institutions are used to prevent the opposition.
That is why I tell you, what is institution? Institutions are run by human beings.
Okay,
if a human being that is called a Nigerian is given an institution to run and he sells seat, that's not the president's problem.
We have a
Nigerians must have a congress of understanding that hold your office for the good of our country. If you are a policeman, don't go to a polling unit and allow votes to be bought and you look on and collect bribe.
Gentlemen, let's take this call. We'll come back. We've heard where you stopped. Joe has a question as soon as we return from taking this call. Hello, good morning. Thanks for calling. Osage, please go ahead with your comment.
Good morning. Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Thank God today. Yesterday I called. You said you didn't hear me yesterday. My brother, I caught you back. I'm really surprised. I'm surprised. You show opinion, chap. See, wrestle and grab. Is that democracy? To wrestle power and grab a sitting president speaking like INEC PRO. I don't understand. How can the president not be the ones defending INEC? Is he supposed to do that? You know what it means? You guys, all of us, we are professional. We are media, senior media guys. Do you know what it means for a state president? You know what it actually means to be a president of a nation. You are not defending INEC, speaking on their behalf. What's that? That is rascality now. You know what? You know why? You know why I want to thank this president. You know why I'm thanking him? Just imagine, he is the leader, or still the leader of opposition now. All these rascalities his government is doing will not have happened. You know when he was the leader of opposition APC, what he did? Look at Femi. You want to tell me that if Tinubu is the leader of opposition today, that the chief of staff will still be in office? This INEC will still be there? Like person like Wike will still be in office? No! Give it to Tinubu. Because the opposition, especially with the media, look at the role in their play. Before, when the APC were in opposition, look at the role media, with the media play. Are we still playing that role now? That's why I must give it to you guys. You know, I think you guys now, New Central, you guys, I'm not trying to flatter you guys. You guys, I hope you guys, I know last time I said, I hope you guys continue like this. You are not biased, very blunt. No, I must give it to you. I must give you guys flower. No, all of you guys, what you guys are doing, it's so wonderful. Unlike other television stations who have compromised, I have no apology to them. That's why the president can just talk. Look at what the Commissioner of Police in Lagos State, Commissioner of Police attending an event of APC. Look at what that one is doing in Osun State, arresting people. They are dedicated no supporters.
All right.
We are just quiet. Like is Nigeria is an enterprise. Nigeria, this country belongs to all of us.
All right. Thank you so much, Osage. I want to take some comments on YouTube and then have you speak again. I know Joe did have a question. Lanre Oloyede says, how can a sitting president be the one speaking on behalf of INEC on how impartial they are? Then he believes that he said this in the studio, always defend the government's actions and power. Then Lanre Oloyede says, see what's happening in Osun State where police raided the house of SSG. Has that ever happened in any APC controlling state? Thank you, Annie Chinedi Brown. He says, to be honest, New Central is now the final destination in all stations in Nigeria. Thank you. You had a question.
Let me run the back of that question. That's why I wanted you, first of all, to clarify to Nigerians so they don't really, you know, that what you mean by democracy, grab power, wrestle, is not what we are. Do you agree that what you are saying is not what we are seeing today?
The president dropped a word that we wrestle for the power. Hold on. That statement to the president to Nigeria, no president will tell you that you go and have a chaotic election. The president of a country, somebody was asking, does he know? Yes, Tinubu knows the meaning of the president. He said, INEC is neutral. Is that not what the Constitution says? The president speaks to what if INEC themselves can decide to play non-neutral by selling the vote. We were here in a country where INEC in this country was perceived by the ruling power as no longer neutral. Were you not here?
Okay.
So when the election results were being called and Rubebe went to stop them, were you not here when Oshomole, who was going to contest election, say INEC is not neutral, and after the election he apologized to them because he now won? So the word INEC is neutral, non-neutral, we have no faith. They are political jingles. They are statements made by politicians simply to well up and create, vigilance that we have no confidence in.
Okay,
but you're organizing yourself to participate in an election conducted by a body you so discredit.
Mr. Katuwa, let's take Taufik.
So the president is saying it's neutral.
It's fine. I'm not talking about the president.
By everybody.
The president has he's the president. So let's listen to Taufik. Taufik, good morning.
Yeah, good morning. Yeah, my name is Taufik.
Yes, go ahead.
I'm very happy at least listening because I started the following a New Central for the past 6 years and above, and I like the way you people present your program.
Thank you.
You are professional.
Thank you.
You see, my concern here is that we put politicians.
I hope Taufik's call
Taufik, are you there?
He said his concern here is that we put politicians. Please, okay. Taufik, if you're able to call back. If not, head on YouTube and type out.
I want us to clarify something. Yes. Sorry. I like to touch on an issue and let's close it. Do you agree that the type of democracy we are seeing in Osun State is not the democracy that we should see? Or do you agree that the type of democracy we see in Osun State mimics exactly what your wrestle means? Where do you stand?
You see,
no, you have to take a side.
No. I don't take side. You see, when I'm speaking about...
No, in your definition, where does it fall in?
Because I speak in the light of building confidence and ensuring that our nation institution is sustained, I'm speaking for the government. I speak to the good of my nation, to build my country. Now, what are we discussing about Osun State? We woke up in the morning and say SSG arrested. Now,
prior to that?
No, hold on. And everybody just connects it that it's the election. That's the connection. So if I know politicians who receive a letter of invitation from the police today, privately, and they went to do a press conference to criticize government after they have seen their letter of invitation for a crime or for some other act being investigated. But because people, they have followers, they now did a press conference 2 days after receiving that letter. And then a week later, they were declared wanted or arrested. They said, oh, because of that press conference. But you didn't know that they had... So let Nigerians just be patient and watch.
You've still not answered my question.
My answer to you is that
no.
Let's not politicize...
Mr. Katuba, no.
Okay, what's the...
Question is... Maybe I don't think you have the full story. You have just one.
No, I have an
Let me give you the story.
I don't want... Go on.
Let me give you the story.
Tell me.
So Osho has been boiling. But let's take this call Uche first. I'll come back. Uche, thanks for joining us. Good morning. Akatuba is a beehive, eh?
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. Please go ahead with your comments.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for calling.
Benga, I believe that some of you people are fans of WrestleMania, the way I do. If politics or winning an election is like WrestleMania, I would share my voter's card. Benga, let me remind you people, I spoke about some time ago. If you go to the archives, you will remember. Though we don't have a full house, Habib was on that day. The guys to Togre. I was talking about Togre. Let me ask you, guess the question. Since we've been conducting election under this administration, has Mr. President spoke about Togre? Have you heard from him condemning Togre, both in primary and normal election? It's a pity what is happening in Osun. It's not a good an example. Mr. President should condemn what is happening everywhere, not only in Osun, regards to Togre. If you are saying Nigeria should have patience, what kind of patience? Can we change Nigerian name to patient? Every administration that comes in, you hear, have patience. It's a pity. Until we do the right thing, we are not doing the right thing. And you people, or some of your guests, should not be promoting this kind of evil. How can see, Inspector General of Police went to Osun. Before the governor, he started accusing the governor. The SSG, they have arrested. Have they gone to APC, members to arrest them too, or to cite their house? I'm not from Osun, but what is good is good. We saw the Commissioner of Police in Lagos as if a party he is supporting. It's an arm of government that is supposed to be neutral. Have we gone to the era of, how do I put it, colonial masters? We are police. The era of colonial masters, the purpose of setting police is to defend them.
All right.
These people took an oath to defend the country, not a political party.
Okay.
Political party comes and
Okay, thank you so much for that.
The last one is also linked. The last one is also linked to my question. Let me just wrap up my question. Osun State. Like I said, maybe you don't have the full detail.
Can I give you a bit of detail regarding what's happening on Osun?
Okay, please go ahead.
Some of the state government had alleged that there was the residence of the Commissioner for Energy, Festus Adeyemo in Ikire, was raided on Tuesday, alleging that officers searched the premises and damaged property during the operation. According to the government, several other commissioners had reported surveillance around their homes, while some residences were allegedly entered, despite, it claimed, the absence of any unlawful activity. So typically, if you should enter, you should produce a search warrant. The only time you're allowed to enter without a search warrant is when they're in the active commission of crime. Said there was any absence of any unlawful activity. A court party has stated that a number of the members of their party have been detained at the Criminal Investigation Department of Osun State Police Command without being granted bail following recent operations. So, bearing in mind all of these details.
And adding to that, they've, the Accord Party has lost some of its members. They've been shot dead July 23, July 24. The police has not investigated that. They've just acknowledged the death. Next, let me also highlight very quickly, thugs. The governor gave an order. I don't want to see fight within the motor park. NURTW, you are suspended for now. NURTW says you don't have the right to suspend us.
To the chief security officer.
To the chief security officer of the state. And guess what? They come in a vehicle with police officers shooting. So the question is, if you say democracy is wrestle, that's why I need you to be very circumspect.
No, I get the point.
You have to be very circumspect in the type of wrestle.
The wrestle we're talking about is not like what we see now in Osun State. Criminality, brigandage, and unlawful use of state institutions is not allowed. For example, what is happening in Osun is like what happened in Rivers. It's a local problem. You remember that this governor was prevented from entering APC. They know he's sure going to win the election. So those people who prevented him are also going to use everything. And the police must not allow themselves to be used. And so the president must speak up to prevent, escalation of what we are seeing there. And whatever wrong and criminality is not part of the word wrestle that the president of this country can alter, that the country should be in chaos because of election. I believe that his word means every politician will fight for every vote lawfully. That's the wrestle.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Okay, we have another call. Let's quickly take this call from Kemi calling from Lagos, and then we'll move to the next paper. Good morning, Kemi. Thanks for calling. Please go ahead.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Arthur.
Please turn down the volume of your TV set so that we can hear you properly.
Yeah, my name is Kelly, not Kelly Orume, not Kenny. Kelly.
Oh, Kelly. Oh, like okay, Kelly Handsome.
Kelly.
All right,
Kelly,
thank you very much.
my name, yeah. Kelly Orume.
All right. Please go ahead, Kelly.
Okay. Thanks for the good job you are doing. And
Kelly, unfortunately, we can't continue with the conversation unless you call back. For everyone who's trying to call, please make sure you turn down the volume of your TV set before you call so that we can have a conversation with you properly. Okay, let's move now to
this
the Guardian. Okay. This Nigeria. Okay, let's start with this Nigeria newspaper. On the front page of this Nigeria, Phantom Agency reps brand Adeyemi's letter of appointment fake.
Fake.
It's fake. Head of service admits lapses, vows tighter procedures. IGP, police need court order to compel DG's appearance. So they need court order to compel DG's appearance, but they don't need court order to enter into people's houses in Osun State. It's all right. DSS arraigns man for allegedly raising funds for ISWAP, Boko Haram. Army deploys GOCs to new divisions, activates 3 brigades. Victims of Benue, Kaduna killings deserve justice. Northern senators back Tinubu's army expansion. Say 4 new army divisions, 28,000 troops, be backed with equipment logistics. Tackling post-harvest losses key to stable tomato prices, experts say. So let's hear what is being said about this. But let's quickly take a call from Henry. Henry is calling from Benue. Hello, Henry. Good morning.
Good morning, please.
Please go ahead with your comment.
Yes, I want to join others in applauding your services here at the New Central.
Thank you.
You people are doing a great job.
Thank you.
But it is often said that people with wide views are people that are old with wisdom. I wonder why you bring in this person here as the spokesperson of the government. But in your title to him is public analyst. This kind of person should better speak in a television stations like TVC, and not your
we would like to please. We would like to please say that we should stick to facts and not attack of persons, as we don't appreciate that here on the Central. Yeah, he has a right to his opinion. Exactly. So please, let's stick to the conversation and not the person.
You know, they say that even in the simple conversation, so long as someone does not speak in a manner of their liking, they say the person should not even be given the hearing. And this is the person who's talking of democracy. So he's also wrestling the microphone from the opposition.
Okay, so there's wrestle here too.
He did that.
I should ring the wrestling bell.
So you should not use your own phone to wrestle microphone from opinion and not
We
like
appreciate plurality.
Yes, we certainly appreciate that. Okay, let's quickly now move as well to the final paper today.
Did you take any story from this Nigeria?
Nigeria, yes, please.
Yeah. Now,
PFIPC.
You know, when the phantom agency matter.
First of all, do you think it's fake?
Yes.
Why is it
fake?
fake?
Very fake.
Fake, but Mr. President,
if you don't understand how, see, the budget, if you don't understand Nigeria, it's very easy to cause this to happen because we don't have a very good system. You see, Nigeria, it's not a digital system where you press button and there's correct. It's manual files. You can deceive the system. But you will be caught, but it's possible. When I heard it, I started laughing. I said, a country like this, we've had where military headquarters were hosting Yahoo people defrauding nations. And they sat in offices. Have we not seen them before? So when you progressively gone to where even your government is being deceived, are you embarrassed? Is this country not a country of multiple fraud performances internationally recognized? Where
it shouldn't be that simplistic. We're talking about multiple government institutions.
This is possible. I'm telling you.
So are you saying, my next question, are you saying it's possible without the hand?
But it was
an internal...
No. Once the chief of staff knew it in October last year, he flagged it.
So?
And he wrote a petition. Yes, it was in October last year that he wrote to say that this is fake. And since then, the man has been investigated.
Okay,
even
so...
the SSG office, there were correspondences between them. Immediately, they noticed it.
Okay, Everest is calling for
but it still existed.
Let's hear from Everest.
And got into the national budget.
Oh, wait, let's pause.
The way government works is this.
Okay. Let's quickly take this call from Everest so that we can continue the conversation. Good morning, Everest. Are you calling us from Mount Everest?
Good morning.
Good morning. Please go ahead with your comment.
The situation of the nation.
We're struggling to hear you. Please speak up.
Okay, I said my opinion is this. That's my opinion. The situation of the nation needs to be a concern for Mr. President. He's a nice man. But the way he spoke, whenever, I don't know, he has a good advisor, need to do it because what is happening in Osun need to be a concern to him. Because if this country turns into violence, he's the one going to hold our responsibility. Today, if this country be in peace, he's going to take the glory. As an elderly man, as a grandfather, he needs to put something in order so that they will remember him after he left office. Because the way these things are going, things are not going right. And the young one are looking at it. You cannot copy the way he's behaving, his body language. It's going to be a bad incident after he left office. If you do something well, they will remember with a good thing. If you do bad thing, they will use that thing to remember him. Because this country belongs to all of us. Just as Samina, we born as a Nigeria. We are not going to run away. Some people have money to run away from this country, but the people who have not the finance to run away. That is why we are concerned about what is happening. You need to tackle it and make sure that everything be in peace so that everybody will be accommodated. Bill, Hausa, Fulani, Igbo, Yoruba. We are living together. And the politicians are the one dividing us. And we don't want it. We want things to be peace. One person must be a leader. You can't get two presidents at once. Do you understand me? That's my opinion.
All right. Thank you, Everest.
Thank you so much.
We're struggling a lot.
There is this general feeling in our country where the president, whoever is in office in Nigeria, is senseless, clueless, makes mistakes, and every commentator thinks they are wiser and that the person, their perspective is superior. I've never seen where Nigerians give a chance to their leaders and say he has a sense at all. He's so stupid. Why does he make mistakes? The president of your country knows that when he's speaking to politicians. And he knows that you cannot go into politics without threatening the opponent. This president is not going to be there for you to win election on a platter.
Why don't you threaten them with what?
What he said, wrestle, this I'm going to kill. He said, I will wrestle for the votes. He didn't say I will cause chaos. No president wants a chaotic country. He's the presiding authority, and he wants a peaceful election. He said, INEC is neutral. It's a statement from president to tell you that go to the election with a clean heart. Don't come there, go and wrestle for votes. And don't be saying, if you say your INEC is useless, it's not trusted, how do you want your voters to even come to vote when you've told them already? You, the political party, say the INEC is not neutral, we don't trust them. Then your voters will not come out. And then you still keep blaming the INEC again that failed to see your voters. So build confidence. Let your voters come out en masse, knowing that the INEC is trustworthy. Tell them they are trustworthy until they fail you. But if they are not trusted, they will. Have
they not failed people?
They will live to. It's that they failed before doesn't mean they can get better. Our work is to lift them up so that they can do what we want. Confidence. Yes, voters have been reducing because of this avalanche of mistrust.
I mean, the Guardian front page of the Guardian newspaper says opposition flays Tinubu's focus on re-election, loses confidence in INEC.
So let's pause.
You see the word now.
Let's pause.
You are saying the president should not focus on his re-election.
You know what? Let's pause on
we
that.
focus
We're on a very
his
quick
re-election.
break. We'll come back and then we'll continue this conversation. We're wrapping up with the Guardian newspaper.
INEC does.
Right, we're winding down. We have a few more minutes to the end of the show. The Guardian big story. Opposition flays Tinubu's focus on re-election, loses confidence in INEC. And you were speaking to that.
That's it. Look at the statement the opposition have issued. A president who...
But if you have genuine grounds...
No, you say you flays for focus. The man will focus on his re-election. He's not in office not to have a second term.
With the widespread insecurity
that is your business. He's fighting it. It's to him, I'm doing very well. And I'm the best president. That's to Tinubu.
What about, we elected him for governance?
No, it is the voter now that needs to determine that. He will tell you the best things about himself.
Okay.
If opposition flays him, I think opposition have no point. They should point out his weaknesses more repetitively than to be saying you flay him. He's going to fight. In fact, APC is here to stay for a long haul. They will not come and be losing election for you. Don't joke with that. Secondly,
well, that statement will be determined by the electorate.
The electorate, if they are really not going to sell their votes.
And if they wouldn't be stopping them from engaging.
Buyers will come for their vote. They need to be sure they don't sell it. Selling your vote is to continue lamentation.
And that's why they are losing confidence in INEC.
No, INEC does not determine if a voter has been bought. It's the vote they casted that
but vote buying is not the only issue.
No, it's talking about vote buying in this circumstance. Okay. INEC does not determine, I want to vote for APC, they pay me 20,000. Will you stop me from voting for my APC? You can't the vote I voted. So if you have...
But they can take more punitive measures. It's
no,
against
if an INEC officer...
It's against the Electoral Act.
If you say it is against, is it on election day that INEC will start prosecuting people? The results will come and you can now start chasing them. The election will come and go on day one, and the results will be counted. The politicians... Opposition, speak to your people, those you believe are your supporters. Tell them not to sell their votes. Tell your agents that we go to polling booth with their tag as agent, not to compromise election when they're being counted. After we have counted and left, he will sell your own vote to the opposition.
But, okay, now...
Not your agent.
Moving away from...
Don't use fraudsters as agents. Don't use Yahoo boys as agents. Use human beings with integrity.
But you know that they are also... It's not just when you're talking about opposition... Even with the ruling party, in the last election, we saw situations where thugs were going out there to threaten people, say, if you are not voting for APC, you will not vote.
No, that will happen because that is part of the electoral system. You the person contesting the election.
Are we not supposed to be improved?
No, you can. The human, who does the thuggery? The politician says, I want to contest. Even if you contest election in your local government, those who love you can go to a remote area and threaten people there. Were you there at that time? But we continue to speak. Media continue to speak that the country belongs to all of us. So anyone who comes to threaten...
Has there been any persecution? Those who threaten people, have you seen them being persecuted, locked up in prison?
Have we even seen condemnation?
Condemnation from the top.
You know, the way things really, in my opinion, if you hear...
The last guy that stole the ballot box, we've not heard of him again.
For me, I'm saying, I don't hold brief for any irregularity. I'm just saying that to build a nation, it's not to pick a pocket. Even in the U.S., we saw that a ballot box was burnt in the U.S. So it does happen that irregularities, criminality, it is for a country. In Nigeria as a country, are we well-resourced enough to prosecute all the crimes that we see? The other day we heard that somebody said, oh, what about those who do this? Out of many stealings, they can only pick a few, for example.
Well,
so
I mean,
beyond the resources you have.
Beyond the smaller ones of thugs manipulating, even the INEC itself, Nigerians have expressed a lot of distrust with the issue concerning linking Amuputon, his tweets with the current administration. They got a quote-unquote independent verified or independent verification. And Nigerians were saying you can't be the one and then you announced it on your page. You can't be judge and jury in your own case. INEC has been found culpable more than once, even with Emeka Ike's details being leaked. Till today, they say, oh, it's somebody there. Okay. But we don't have time. We have to wrap up now. 5 seconds. 5 seconds.
I want to say to you that anyone, even Tinubu's son can conduct a good election because it's not his decision as to what results are determined. If there is evidently results that are collated from states, an INEC chairman cannot just say, cancel that state, cancel this state, because everyone has the result. Anybody can preside over INEC, in my opinion. Sometimes we make too much. Let's focus on the quality of our voters and the collation and the electoral officers that we send to polling units. Yes.
Okay.
Let's focus.
Thank you very much.
Let me focus. As for me and mine, I want to focus on nicer things, like saying, happy birthday once again to Gbenga Borowa. Yeah, it's your birthday. We don't have time. We have to go. No. We're going now.
And 24 other African missions. If you recall,
you can't speak on that, Gbenga. Sorry. See you tomorrow, everyone. Please head on to Gbenga's social media. I wish him happy birthday.
Passing through the eye of the needle.
Bye-bye.